So here's a sea urchin just came in, still moving. This is one of the things that really makes this place unique, is that you can find things here you won't get elsewhere.
Chelsea Market was actually the Nabisco baking company. This is actually 17 buildings, and where we're standing is in the middle here. And so we've actually just covered the first floor with a tin roof.
My name is Jeffrey LaFrancois. I'm the Executive Director of the Meatpacking District Management Association, the business improvement district that's charged with making sure meatpacking is the place to visit, to see and be seen, and of course to experience all the great things we have to offer, from the Whitney Museum to Chelsea Market and all our amazing public spaces outside. Chelsea Market is an anchor not just in meatpacking, but in the city of New York and in particular on Manhattan's West Side. Its transformation from a factory, a warehouse, a place that made goods behind the scenes, to a public-facing, most successful, first of its kind food hall is amazing.
I'm Leah Bassnight and I'm the General Manager. I oversee the retail operations here at Chelsea Market. Come on in and let me give you a tour. Chelsea Market was actually the Nabisco baking company. It was built in the 1890s and it is a full city block. This is actually 17 buildings that was fused into one facility, and where we're standing was actually the thoroughfare. People would come here with their horse and carriage and they would visit the businesses on either side. This is actually what it looked like, and where we're standing is in the middle here, and so we've actually just covered the first floor with a tin roof. Here is where we've been able to preserve some of the artifacts from the original development from the National Biscuit Company, also known as Nabisco. And this Chelsea Market is home of the Oreo. Chelsea Market averages about 15,000 people a day. When Chelsea Market was thought of, Irwin Cohen, who was sort of the visionary for this, he bought this building in 1993, and what he envisioned doing is to provide office space for creatives. And so he wanted to provide an amenity for them and also for the community, and he envisioned a market here. So he went out and he got a fishmonger, he got a baker. So it was like you could buy retail, but you also got to see a lot of the manufacturing and the process of what you were buying. So there are still several tenants here who do their production. Some of them are Lobster, ALF Bakery. We have about 62 vendors here, and I'm proud to say that about 95% of those vendors are sole proprietorships. Most of them have just one location here, but some of them have been able to leverage their stores and their locations here to have multiple locations throughout the city. And so we're really happy and proud to be supporting that kind of tenant here.
Do you have people who come in like every day or every week?
Every day. People coming every day for a baguette. Some of them, they're like, if you weren't here, I wouldn't come here. He's doing a potato tart. It's very savory. And then we have that pear over there that is poached already. We take the pear out, we put the almond in the middle, and we bake the whole thing in the oven. It's elegant, it's simple, it's not complicated, it's just what it should be. See, everything is coordinated. While this guy is doing this, our baguette is ready to be shipped. So this is how we operate. So everything by the stage, babkas, brioche, and then focaccias. Everything we do here is an overnight production. We're not a bakery. You see, that's why we would not here at 2 a.m. We are a traditional bakery where we do the work during the day. So the product for Friday are done today, this morning. So once we done baking everything, then production start for Friday. This production started yesterday, around 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. We start doing our stuff, we start mixing our doughs, we start shaping, we start pulling things out, we start making our creams, we start doing all of this ready to go for the next day. And then the dough overnight will be put at a certain temperature, like a wine cooler.
Yeah, very precise.
Yes.
Everything very intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be. Otherwise, every day he will do something different. I'll do something different. The other guy will do something else different. Then it's become a catastrophe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It happened. It happened before.
This is what the public sees, but I'm going to take you behind the scenes of Chelsea Market.
I'm sorry.
I'm filming. This is the back of house. This is where it all happens. We have retail prep rooms, storage rooms, all of our operations, tenant spaces down here. It does run the length of Chelsea Market. Down here was also where like our pump room and the boiler room and all the mechanical rooms are located, as well as the retail tenant storage spaces. As you can see, this is really long and cavernous, and it does run the full length of the building. So this is the Budokan kitchen, their back of house. This is probably one of our largest prep kitchens because Budokan is such a large restaurant. But I do know that every tenant has a storage space, either dry, and many of them have prep kitchens like this one, but a little smaller. So now we're getting ready to go out into the local, which opened in 2019. And we created this space to serve the local residents in the community. Here they can come and take care of all their shopping needs. Like Dixon, for example, is actually a legacy tenant as well, and he was on the first floor in a much smaller space. We're really proud to be part of these tenants' growth and helping them to try new concepts and to expand out into the city.
My name is Jake Dickson. I'm the owner and operator of Dixon's Farmstand Meats here in Chelsea Market. We opened Dixon's upstairs in Chelsea Market on the ground floor in a small space from 2009 until 2019. We opened here down our new space 2 weeks before the pandemic, basically. And actually, we have expanded even more. So we came down here, we're 3,500 square feet, and now we're about 6,500 square feet between our seating, our salami bar, which we had 4 years ago, and kind of expanded our back of the house as well. Probably one of the larger spaces here in Chelsea Market. You know, the business has evolved tremendously over the years. When we first started, we were, I would say, 90% butcher shop, 10% sandwiches. And now we are, you know, we never sold less meat, but we sell a huge amount of restaurant food too, because we've got the bar, so we make our own salumi, prosciutto, salami, it's like all kinds of stuff, all dry cured. Then we have a big burger, steak, sandwich program, rotisserie chickens, in addition to being a busy retail butcher shop as well. We serve anywhere from 400 to 1,000 people a day prepared foods. So the meat business never got smaller, but we've been able to grow the restaurant component a lot. The way our meat, or most of our meat, comes in, so we have an 18-foot refrigerated box truck that we've custom outfitted with a rail system. He shows up at the small slaughterhouse just west of Albany. He shows up there at 7 a.m. every Tuesday, and we load about 7,000 to 10,000 pounds of meat as full carcasses. So the pigs are just split in half, the lambs are whole, and the beef are cut into 6 pieces. You know, a hindquarter could weigh 300 pounds. Luckily, Clay, our driver, is a huge dude. He makes lifting them really easily, actually. So we are carrying actually from the rails in the slaughterhouse onto the rails in our truck, and then we hang them and cut them right here on the rails into that meat sign right there. It's never being wrapped in plastic or laid down on the ground or put in a box or cut. We have them cut as few pieces as they can so we can still move the carcasses at the slaughterhouse. That allows us to control all of the butchery and the quality ourselves. Because there's a lot of things that go into quality of the end product that the consumer experiences. It could be packaging, the animal itself, how it's hung and aged and chilled. All these things matter a lot. And I believe that if we're gonna sell the most expensive meat in the country, we need to handle it in the best possible way. Our busiest times of year are like Christmas, Thanksgiving, the spring season, when the locals are buying both meat and they're here, and then the tourists are here. And so it's like our busy on top of busy on top of busy. You know, we bring in about 10 to 12,000 pounds of meat every week, probably more if you add poultry to that as well. There's a lot I still want to do. So our menu is still changing and evolving. We're adding whole new business lines. We still are working on dinner. That's a big growth opportunity for us. You know, we could double or triple our dinner business if we could figure it out and crack that code. And so we're always working on things like that. You know, when we started in Chelsea Market, it was always a busy destination, but it really hit its stride when the second section of the Highline opened. That's when, like, all of a sudden, like, oh, like Chelsea Market is like a thing. Chelsea Market and the Highline became like almost like a seamless tourist attraction. Basically from Hudson Yards to the Highline, Chelsea Market, the Whitney, and Little Island, this continuous tourist destination that kind of really just brings tons of people here.
So we are on the Highline, which is an amazing part of the New York experience today that's all about adaptive reuse. You know, it was built to move trains that moved people and goods, and today it really does the same thing. People move from A to B on the Highline, just not on railroad tracks anymore. They're enjoying it as a park. So the Highline's about 1.5 miles long, and depending on how you look at it, starts or ends in meatpacking. And then you head up to Hudson Yards, where it wraps around the rail yard that's up there. And today, 7 million visitors a year, one of the most popular destinations in the city, not just for visitors, but for New Yorkers as well. The best time to use it, early in the morning, later in the evening. I live in the Hell's Kitchen, so I find myself walking down and then using the Highline to get to work sometimes. You know, this was one of many sort of ignored, decaying structures on Manhattan's far west side in the early 2000s, and a group of local Chelsea folks got together and wanted to save it because it was going to get torn down. It was Manhattan's last standing, what we used to call the L, the elevated railroad tracks, of which almost every avenue used to have them. In classic sort of New York City form, a group of neighbors banded together to save something, and they put a really amazing campaign together, now called Friends of the Highline, to create what is now this park. So it took 10 years of organizing to convince the commercial railroads at the time who owned this, to convince the city to go along with this wild idea of turning a defunct, derelict, elevated rail track into the Highline. And nobody ever thought, when it opened in phase 1 in 2009, that it was going to become the city's most visited destination. So we talked about this Highline experience today and what it was like back then, of moving goods and about people, but it's always been about a working waterfront on the west side of Manhattan, and all around us right now are examples of adaptive reuse. Hudson River Park, which is a 4-mile park that runs from 59th Street to Chambers, has completely repurposed what were once active piers along the Hudson into green gems of parks along the river. Pier 57 is an amazing building, adaptive reuse, with office space, a food hall, an indoor park, a rooftop park, all out of what used to be a terminal, a bus facility, and a whole bunch of other things that now today offers amazing space to the public. Likewise, a whole bunch of other piers on Manhattan's west side have been adapted for use that really fits the city for today. So we're standing in Chelsea Triangle, which used to quite literally be the middle of the road. Back in 2009, the Meatpacking District was home to the city's first interim plaza program, where we started to repurpose roadway to give it back to people. Fast forward a decade plus, a completely redone public space that preserved the cobblestone historic footprint of the neighborhood, reusing 40% of those historic cobbles, brought in trees, planters, and made it a space for people to come and enjoy the neighborhood. So Chelsea Market was an early flashpoint in how the neighborhood went from very manufacturing, sort of very daytime worker experience, to really becoming a much more 24/7, 365, not just worker, but consumer experience as well. Overall, we're a little powerhouse of a neighborhood that we expect to see 15 million people come through this year. And the symbiotic relationship of what's grown up around Chelsea Market is all about how an urban neighborhood evolves based on what people like to do. And that's what's exciting about this neighborhood.
I am Ian McGregor. I'm the second generation owner and CEO of LP Brands. We are sitting in Cull Pistol Oyster Bar here in Chelsea Market. Cull Pistol is our full service restaurant. We have 47 seats here. It's a part of our broad operation here in Chelsea Market. Next door is Lobster Place Seafood Hall. We like to think of this as a totally unique and immersive seafood experience, and Cull Pistol is an important part of that.
So I'm Dave Siegel. I'm the culinary director here at the Lobster Place Seafood Hall, former executive chef, so I have a large culinary background. We're going to walk through the Lobster Place and start here. This is what we call the galley. This is our quick service takeout concept. It's sort of based in a traditional New England seafood shack. Primarily we sell lobster rolls here, steamed lobsters of different sizes, and then we also have a creative menu of really cool stuff like a shrimp katsu sandwich, a salmon smash burger.
My mother and father started the Lobster Place, we're very proud, 50 years ago in 1974. And over the course of the following 20 years, the business evolved, it grew, landed across the street from Chelsea Market, and gave him the opportunity, when opportunity knocked, to move the business here. So it was really my mother and father who were the OG tenants. They were the pioneers who believed in the idea of Chelsea Market. And it was a pretty bold idea at the time. You know, Chelsea was an industrial neighborhood. It was a kind of a rough neighborhood, and the idea of putting a market like this right smack dab in the middle of it in 1994 was pretty bold. It was pretty audacious, and yeah, the rest is history.
We'll sell right now anywhere from 100 to 200 lobsters a day, steamed lobsters. Lobster rolls anywhere from 300 to 700 a day. For the lobsters, we've got this gigantic steamer here. That'll get loaded in with 100 lobsters at a time. We'll steam them off. We're processing anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people a day here. So in order to keep the line from going out the door, we've got to sort of par cook them.
Back in the mid-90s, we ran wholesale seafood distribution out the back and had a little seafood market here in the front of our space. Beginning back in 2013, we sort of saw how the neighborhood was evolving, saw the Highline taking hold in the neighborhood and a lot of tourists flowing in, and Chelsea had just grown tremendously during that time. So we had to look at what we were doing and change and evolve to meet the customer who was coming through the door. And Cull Pistol was born, and Lobster Place Seafood Hall next door was born.
So this is our fresh seafood counter. This is actually one of the things that first drew me to the Lobster Place as a chef. Like 20 years ago, working in restaurants and ordering from the Lobster Place, coming in here in Chelsea Market, seeing this amazing breadth of offerings and the freshness. We've got everything from crab cakes and salmon burgers, marinated salmon, whole fish, and a really cool shellfish variety as well. As we move down here, you can see really cool stuff like great tuna, Arctic char. We've got a Spanish mackerel, which is really an underrated fish, great value as well.
The space and composition of our business has changed a lot over the years. We have about 6,000 square feet here on the ground level off of the Chelsea Market concourse, and then we have 4,000 feet downstairs. When we first started out, wholesale comprised about 2/3 of what we were doing here, and the fish market was just here in the front. Traffic through Chelsea Market was a lot more sporadic. People kind of came from all over in New York City to do their food shopping here, and all kind of wholesale retail offering really high quality restaurant grade ingredients to the casual shopper. Over time, as Chelsea has grown and developed and the makeup of Chelsea visitors has changed, Chelsea Market has become an attraction where people from all over the world come to sort of see what the best food is in New York City. Watching the evolution of Chelsea Market and our business is one of the most gratifying things that I can imagine as a business owner. It is a living ecosystem here, and our neighbors are always changing. The makeup of the Chelsea Market visitor is always changing, and the really exciting thing is evolving to meet what they want. And I'm fortunate that we've got a really great creative crew of people here, and they wake up excited about doing that every day.
We've really become an arts and culture anchor, and that has informed so much about how people, who is coming here, how they look, which of course it's New York, so everybody looks great. But it feels really good to look good at meatpacking too, because the backdrop, that timelessly chic destination to sort of set trends, to see and be seen, it feels great here. I think meatpacking and the Lower West Side are redefining what it means to be an arts and cultural district. With the Whitney now anchoring us down here, with destinations like Chelsea Market, which is not just about food, it's about culture in a major way. That's really special. I'm incredibly proud to be a part of it because we get to do really, really fun, really cool things, frankly, like, host dinner parties for 4,000 people across the streets of meatpacking. We host amazing fashion shows every year in different parts of the district. These things can happen anywhere, but they don't feel the same unless they're happening in meatpacking.